Hi, everyone. I'm happy to have you, and welcome to Linda, who is joining me today on my channel. Welcome, Linda.
Thank you.
How have you been?
Good morning. I'm fine. It's a little cooler these past few days. Not cold, just cooler.
Cooler?
So
Yeah.
70s, 80s at the most.
It's pretty hot where I am. We have a heat wave in Europe, and it's
Oh,
pretty
Lord.
intense. Yes, yes.
When do they think it might let up a little bit?
It's already calming down a little, which is nice. It was pretty bad over the weekend, but now I think it's getting a little bit better. But yeah, very
Well,
intense. Yeah.
that kind of heat wave, you worry about tires, you worry about transport.
Yes, kids, elderly, even people who work like delivery people on bikes, and
Yeah.
it's really hard, really, really hard. And I mean, that's my intuition that we're gonna see more heat waves in Europe this summer, but actually that's an interesting transition to the US weather um over the summer. Hurricanes, if fires, you're seeing all this.
Yes.
Yeah,
Big time hurricanes. The fires are already going on over here in California.
already. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I feel
apparently there was some real bad weather where I just was at with Kay's show with Danny Shea and stuff. There was a big thunder and lightning storm in
um
Shasta and Redding.
wow. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is gonna be I feel like this is a season where there's gonna be even more hurricanes, fires. I really feel fires. And it feels dry. The energy feels very dry.
Dry. Yeah.
Dry. So
Can I ask you something? What do you feel about the winter? Is it going to be torrential water too because of the heat?
a lot of rain.
Okay.
Because I mean the first thing that I'm getting is, it's all about the earth and the balance. So if it's getting a lot of heat and dry, it has to compensate with the rain. And so I'm
Yeah.
seeing more of this balance effect with not just rain, but snow, snow and snowstorm pretty bad. Um, actually, something that I see for the summer, since we're on the heat, I see something about the electric grid, the loss of power, loss of internet in the US, big time.
Through the whole US or portions of it?
Portions of US. I don't think the whole US, but there will be pockets that maybe for a day, for a few hours, will really
Damn.
lose power from the heat. Um, it feels electricity and internet. Internet, I mean, it goes hand in hand, but the
Well, I
internet,
worry about the elderly with no fans or anything
I
going.
don't know. And the internet, that could also be some cyber stuff. I
Okay.
just felt that a couple days ago, like some sort of cyber.
Hit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel a lot of stuff with transportation too.
Like accidents
Transportation,
or,
shutdown or manipulation of the systems.
ooh, yeah. Well, the plane stuff, I don't see that stopping. There's problems
Hmm.
non-stop. So, yeah,
Yeah.
sadly. All right.
All
Um,
right, Mike.
so I have a couple topics. We're gonna try to get through them. So we want to talk obviously about Trump, the bill, and the economy. A lot of questions on that. Musk, I think it's interesting. ICE and the deportations, and then we'll finish with the Middle East and Ukraine. So starting with Trump, I'm gonna start there. I was doing some cards before the show, and I saw a big difference. So I was seeing very positive cards and energy around Trump over the next few weeks, like a week or two. And then,
Somebody was talking about, oh, I
yeah,
think Ness, my astrologer, said that he had real good aspects
mm,
this 2 weeks.
and then there's like something happens. Yeah, there's like a big dip. And that feels to me like this could come in August, September, as early as August, September. And I feel like there's going to be kind of a combination of two things that I see hitting him. The the economy after the bill, the US economy, and then international stuff.
Wow. Like they'll really call him out on his being in
Yes,
bed with Putin.
Putin, and then I don't think it's going to calm down in the Middle East, despite what
Yeah.
he said. No,
But are they going to pass that bill? I always thought they would, but there's a lot of fighting going on right now.
I have the feeling that the bill will pass, but this is not. I think it's going to be very hard to reconcile it in the House. I think they can only afford three votes.
Yeah, well, right now a whole group of them are pissed off because the Senate sent it back to them with
Yes.
changes they don't like.
So I think that's not going to be easy. I think that's going to be a lot of infighting, but I'm afraid it's going to go through.
Okay, I've always felt it would, yeah. But I don't care. You get all these people who say no, even that Josh Hawley, who's a total fake. And then he turns around and votes for it.
I know. I felt like they're going to give them whatever they need to save face, but
Yeah.
it's like the kiss of death. They're going to come back to their constituents and it's going to be really, really bad. I think
I've been saying out loud, they're signing their own death warrant.
really
It's the
bad.
beginning of the end for the Republican Party. There was a gentleman talking about how he got into Congress when something had happened that Obama had done. Might have been his Obamacare or whatever, to where more Republicans got in since the Civil War. 100 years had passed. And then all of a sudden they were king for a day. But this is what I'm feeling is going to happen with the Republicans coming up. They're going to get rejected big time.
A lot of them, they're already avoiding public forums, wanting
Yes.
to, they're afraid. Uh, I felt like just to get this passed, this is going to be hard on Johnson and Trump to push.
And
Uh,
they'll do threats too.
yeah, and also I was just watching before. There's only have three votes, but some of them have problems coming over with travel issues and weather and like so that could even make things even more
Oh,
difficult.
you mean they
Yes,
can't come in and vote for the
to
bill?
vote. Yes, yes.
Interesting.
Yes, so the task might be even harder.
Wow.
Yes, yes. And
Let me
once,
ask my new
yes.
pendulum from
Oh yeah,
Mount Shasta.
beautiful.
Will this big, beautiful bill pass? It's saying yes. Damn it. It's saying yes.
It shouldn't, but I think it will.
Wait, real quick. Will it pass by July 4th with a big, beautiful bill? It's going to be a lot of fighting because it's really
Yes,
shaking right now.
yes.
Will it pass by July 4th? It's saying no.
By July
So
4th,
there'll be
no?
some infighting.
I
Yeah.
would not be surprised. Yeah. Two of Pentacles, struggle.
Struggle. Tit for
So,
tat.
so they're gonna suffer to get it through, which is good. Um, and then I feel like what's coming after that for Trump is the whole the tariffs. This is still not over. This whole discussions, it's delayed. It looks like so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see this
Now
him able
he
to.
thought everybody would bow to the
No,
king. He's so delusional. He thought everyone would say, "Sir." He always says people say, "Sir,
sir.
sir, sir." So he thought he would be able to do it, but like Nebraska got a hold of him, the governor, and said, "Look, there are people who work in our fields are leaving in droves because they don't trust ICE. They're going back home." And he said, and China has cut all our soybean contracts, and we are literally being destroyed. Nebraska is in
Yes.
huge trouble, sir. Now what are you going to do about it?
But it's always when it's too late and it
Yeah,
doesn't know what to do.
right.
Uh, how do you see his health during the next few months?
How is Trump's health during the next 2 months?
Let's read on that.
Well, Ness, and I got to get a hold. Have you been talking to Andre at all?
Yes, and Ness as well, both of them.
Okay, so did they say anything about health aspects? Because I feel September is pretty bad.
I didn't, I didn't speak about health of Nine of Sword. Oh,
Eight of
Tower.
Swords with the Tower, which means something unexpected will plague him. And he might even be on a trip or moving around.
Yes. I have the judgment and the strength reversed.
Okay.
So it's almost like a drop of energy.
Look at this. He will battle. It's not going to kill him, but he will battle. So this could be the
Yes.
end of his days.
Eight of Cups. I see fluids, blood, something could be a stroke.
Could be a stroke.
Could be a stroke.
And are you the one that always saw him in a wheelchair?
Always.
Yeah. So a stroke can put you in a wheelchair.
Sure. Yeah. I feel like there's something, I would say, not in July. I don't feel in July. August, September, the chances are pretty high for him to have some sort of medical
This
situation.
isn't going to go on. People are
No,
like, when is this going to stop? I see it stopping sooner because of an incident with his health. Plus, the midterms are going to wipe him out.
completely.
Yeah.
That the midterm, I've always got like a clear signal on the House turning blue. Like the Senate, I haven't really gotten an intuition about it. Have you gotten
Yeah.
some?
They're going to
Yes,
turn blue.
blue as well. I'm not
Yeah.
surprised.
See, the reason is I can see them both being able to override any veto that the president tries to do. And you can do that if you have enough people in the office.
All right. Um, what about the economy? So there was some other questions about the economy in the summer, the fall, inflation. I don't feel good about any of this.
I do not. And Microsoft said they're laying off another 8,000 and we're 33,000 behind in jobs. It's getting ready to hit and hit hard.
I've always said that, and I feel like it will be reflected in the stock market. There's going to be some sort of a drop.
Yeah, but the stock market doesn't really tell us what's going on,
No,
but it's a little bit like this.
yes, but I feel there's something going on with because the US dollar has been dropping in value. I mean, a lot. Like
Oh, I know. They said it used to be the king of all kings. Now it's a nothing burger.
we are like right now, there's since the beginning of the year a 15% drop compared to the euro. So it's so I feel
Wow.
like something. I'm not an economist, but I know when there's big differences like this, it has to readjust.
Right.
And it's been trying to get the interest rates lower, but they're not dropping them. So I think there's going to be a tension there. Should we look with our cards any issues with the banks,
The who?
finance,
The banks.
the banks?
Well, fortunately, the banks were such low life scums after that big, huge hassle in 2008. And thanks to Elizabeth Warner,
Mm, Yep,
they put a lot of things in place to
place
protect us.
consumer protection and credit
Yeah.
bureau. Yep.
So, but I just saw people running for their money. People might get scared.
Okay. Is there anything going on with the
But he's
bank?
telling me there's going to be two large drops in the stock market. And I see people running for their money. Even the wealthy will lose money.
Nine of Swords. So there are concerns with money, finances. I mean, people's money are safe in the banks, but I'm talking
Yes.
stock market. investment.
Well,
Yeah,
remember that's how President Roosevelt dealt with it because people were wanting their money, and the bank said, "We're going to just shut down because we can't hold up." And he said, "Do me a favor to everybody. Keep your money in the
in the
bank, and
bank.
I promise you, I'm going to put protections." And people listened to him. It's almost like that story with Jimmy Stewart, the miracle. What? No, not miracle. What was the story? The Christmas story with Jimmy Stewart.
Oh, I don't know.
Anyway, he managed to keep people from pulling out all their money.
Oh, yeah,
And that's what's going to happen. But
saved.
we don't forget, we're going to have a new president coming up probably sooner than later, because the United States might demand that we have another voting done. But I saw
Oh,
two runs for the bank, two big runs for the
runs for the
bank.
band. Is that over the summer and fall, winter, or
Yeah, I can't
you
time
don't know?
frame,
You don't
but I
know.
can
Yeah,
see people rushing to go get their money. And I'm getting letters left and right. God bless them. People saying, "Linda, this thing goes through. My livelihood depends on Medicaid."
of
And
course.
now they're saying these things won't occur until after the midterms. They're not
Yes,
going to go into effect till after the mid.
yes.
And she was worried, and I'm going to address that in a show I'm doing. She was worried. Does that mean that people won't vote these people out because they're not feeling the effects? No, they will vote them out.
Yes. And maybe not the big impact is coming before the midterm, but there's still some things that are coming before the
There's
midterm. Maybe not Medicaid, but yeah,
Well, the hope for America is upside down right now. So our star is turning upside
upside
down, which
down.
means other nations are looking at us like, yeah, whatever. And let me
Five,
tell you, go ahead.
no, no, Five of Pentacles, a time of
Yeah,
recession.
recession. Yeah.
What else for
I
you?
told everybody 2 years ago, I said, get your money, you know,
Say,
get your rations. Like I have rations, canned goods and stuff, just because I feel a lot of influx of in and out of being able to have and have nots. There's a lot of stuff going on.
well, and not from the bill itself, because you're right, like a lot of things are coming after the midterms. But even what happens just with the inflation from the tariffs, even though it's 10%, it's still a lot of money, as well as deportations, the labor costs,
Oh,
all the
I know.
people.
Eating. Yep.
So it's gonna end up being very expensive and prices are rising. And even with the Middle East, it's not a lot, but it's tensions in the Middle East have increased and will increase gas prices. So I felt like this is going to culminate in the summer with pressure on the economy. Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be a tough one if you're struggling paycheck to paycheck. And then if you get laid off, if they no longer need you, back in the day, you could get your temporary Obamacare or Medicaid or
Yes.
something that tied you and your family. You can't do that anymore.
Yep. Um, let's talk a little bit about Musk because it's interesting. Like he went back to poke at the bear.
Well, he said he absolutely hates this bill. And he said,
Yes.
anybody that votes for this bill, I'm going to make sure I get them out of office. And he wants to start a whole new America. You know,
Yes.
he
Party
does
or yeah.
not Democrat, but he wants to start another, which he won't be successful.
No.
Ooh, and then Trump said, yeah, we need to send him back to Doge. You know what Doge is? Doge is the monster he created. Totally worthless. I get a feeling, and I told everybody this when Elon was starting to talk, I said, watch the Doge collapse
Hmm.
because it's not necessarily Trump telling them get the hell out of Dodge, but everybody else will treat them disrespectful.
Yes.
Like the president doesn't like you, so get the hell out. So I feel um, he's got some stuff under the table that he's getting ready to pull out.
Oh, I felt like he will, I've always saw him leaving the US and I feel
Yes, he will
stronger
definitely leave, but
leave,
I
but he
also
will
feel
do damage before.
he'll
Yeah,
hand us a little gift like I helped with Starlink to help Trump win this
last
election.
action.
Trump will say it was totally untrue, but it's true.
Yes, yes. I think he has a lot of things up his sleeve. Um, the other topic is, what should we expect with ICE and the deportations? Are they gonna stop? Are they gonna calm down? What's going on with Tom Hagen, this horrible guy? Are they being blocked by the court? I feel like it's still running in the background.
Yeah, but and they're all wannabes. The guy, the FBI agent who was on trial for hurting a police officer on January 6th,
Mm,
he's a retired FBI. He's back. He's one of their people helping the DOJ get people.
yeah.
This is all going to fall apart, but I'm just going to say this entertainment purposes only. I keep feeling guns, but actual fighting back with guns.
Or people
People will
fighting
have
back.
had enough. Yeah.
That could very
I
well
could be
be.
wrong,
That
but
could
I do
very well
see them
be.
fighting back with guns because there's so many of them that aren't even legal. They're going in kidnapping women
That,
and
yes.
they act like you don't have permission to ask me for my name.
Let's see a little bit. I'm gonna pull some cards like deportation. So what's gonna happen in that area
Okay.
here? See what you get to. I mean, you might be right. Seven of Wands, there's some fighting back here.
Yeah, I feel people will fight back. And they can't do it through the courts because they don't listen to the courts. So they're
No,
going to take justice into their own hands. Look at this. It's going to surprise us. It might even be a group of militants behind closed doors, could even be from Mexico, that come
yes.
in and wipe them out before they even know what's happening.
You've been getting the tower a few times today. Yep.
There's big news coming.
Yes, yes.
But
It's
see,
all
the
gonna
thing is
shift.
that you hand Trump a win because he'll say, see how awful these people are.
Well, yeah. Uh, I feel like timing wise, I'm seeing like late August, September is a very tense period in terms of people revolting, the impact in the economy, maybe even, like bird flu or something similar to that happening around that same time. It's like a combination of things that just like form together that create people starting to realize like a lot is going on.
Right, right.
Yes. You see what I mean?
Oh,
Like
it's just awful seeing him in Florida, all of them having a joke
oh,
about people. You know what? If they set up grandstands for people to sit and watch other human beings being eaten by alligators, they would show they're no different than the Colosseum in Rome. They would cheer
no.
on people that they think less than them being hurt. That's how ugly it is. It's so sad.
Did you see Christy Nome talking about like a cannibal, someone eating themselves on a plane? It was just crazy,
Oh my
crazy
God.
thing. That like if I read this right, like we're deporting people that are cannibals. It's so made up.
Oh,
It's
well,
so
they're eating the cats and the dogs. It's a bunch of
that's
bullshit.
in themselves. No.
Jesus. Well, when we take the gun and point it at all the administration, we should march them down to Florida and have them go in the waters there and cheer them on.
Yeah. Um, I felt like obviously when the period that we're talking about, the summer, the fall, we don't want to scare people, but we want to be real with what's happening. To me, this is almost like when we rock bottom, and then when
Yeah,
we start to next year, things starts to get better. Like I feel like the momentum is starting, the resistance is starting. Um, Trump would not have as much strength or might not be here, who knows? Depending on his health situation. Um, and getting all the way to midterms. I do see the midterms happening, right? I mean, you see that.
I do too.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
see him. He would love to stop it. And he
yes.
may announce that he's stopping it, like the Satan announced there would be no voting.
I mean,
And the courts will return that.
so it's like a couple hard months to get through, I feel, but
I
then
know. I told
there's,
people it's
yes,
really tough, you guys.
I know. But there's a light at the end of this. Like I feel like it's almost like us to a rock bottom, and then there's enough for people to see is on people. It is also a good point to really shift the votes the other way. You don't need to convince all the MAGA. You convince 5% of them. It's
There
enough
you
to,
go. There was a woman that just wrote on one of those social media said, I voted for Trump so he'd make the liberals upset to make them mad. I didn't vote to have my Medicare taken away or
for
Medicaid taken
sure.
away.
And
So
even with
that they
that,
start
yeah,
hurting.
yes. And even with that, I feel like after the midterms, what went through in the bill, since the effect is after the midterms, that could be changed as well by a blue House and Senate. That could be
But
stopped.
whoever's going to come in as president when that happens,
And
he takes no prisoners. And it's good that the Supreme Court gave Trump all this leeway because he walks in with the same thing.
yes,
And he'll
exactly.
take advantage of it. It may seem unfair to them, but they didn't care about being fair when we were there. He's going to come in and wipe out everything touched by Trump.
Yeah. And he will have the powers, like you said, given by the Supreme Court to proceed.
Right. And there's
So,
not going to, I even see a lot of Republicans, maybe some diehard maggots, but a lot of Republicans saying, trying to explain that they were stuck, why because they act like, remember how they thought that the red wave was coming?
yes,
Remember that? They were
didn't
bragging
come.
about it, and Johnson was bragging, everybody was
Yes,
bragging, oh, the red wave is coming. And they lost. I think out of all the ones that Trump said, vote for, he acts like he has this power. I can take so
yes,
and so out 26%. Nobody that he endorses wins. One person out of that
that's
whole
right.
group won.
You're right.
So it's like, why are you guys afraid this guy is a nothing burger? But finally, they'll announce that he's a nothing burger. And that's when they turn their back to him.
And that will hurt. That will really hurt him.
That hurts him the most because he's got such a
Yes, ego. Moving a little bit to the Middle East, something that I feel and curious to hear your thoughts on it is right now we have the peace, the ceasefire, and I don't see this lasting. Like I feel like it's very fragile, and it just was made for Trump to say, I did something, I made peace.
Oh, he
It's
wants that peace, Nobel Peace Prize.
never, no,
By the way, he's never going to get it.
no, no. But you saw, like it's been really reported by the inspectors of, the uranium experts that the what happened only delayed the Iranians by a few
Oh, yeah.
months.
You listen, they are double working. But remember, he did kill a lot of their
Yes,
generals, or Israel
it
killed.
they did.
But I
They
gotta
did.
tell you something. I had a dream the other night, and I'll tell my people when I do my little quick show. I had a dream that Netanyahu was running for his life and he was in the United States, and I guess he's coming here next week to meet with Trump.
Oh,
He's going to be taken down. I'm not quite sure
Yes,
when.
yes. Well, he's also talking about, 3 votes for the House, 2 votes on his side for his coalition. He holds by 2 votes. So he's also on fragile grounds.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like there's going to be a regime change. I mean, I don't know how quickly, but there will be a regime change in Iran and in Israel, both.
Oh, Iran, I see women coming up from underground. I saw that
Yes.
years ago. I saw the women coming up from underground. Maybe they're even meeting now and
Yes.
they will
Yes.
get this place cleaned up. But Netanyahu was able apparently to put a hold on the trial he's supposed to go to in Israel for
Oh,
crimes against
yes. Yes.
not the ICC, but a one in Israel.
And Trump said that he would support that he would supporting the hold. So should we put a card?
On which one? Which question?
Uh, well, I
Iran's
think
good. Let's do Iran first. Let's
yes.
let's cut it down. Let's do Iran because Iran's coming back.
So the
And
question would
Iran's
be,
talking to a lot of people, and Trump is not safe.
okay, what's going on in Iran right now?
I know. Oh, and then he cleared Syria. He forgave Syria. No more restrictions because they're building a tower
Oh
in
yeah.
his. They're stuck a little bit. They're stuck. They think they're on God's side for sure. They need money. That's one of their
Yes,
problems. They're looking for money.
I agree.
We may see them bringing their head up and doing something in the winter, the fall or winter. Will Iran get back on Trump? Saying yes. Will Iran try to take out Trump? Yes. Will they be successful? No.
Mhm. I see Iran looking for money, as you did, looking
Yeah.
for partners. The most interesting part was the tower, this building in flame. I think they're getting an attack from Israel again.
Another one.
Yes.
Well, they really want to take out I thought
Yes.
perhaps I saw Israel burning, by the way. So is Israel going to have a major attack from Iran? It's saying yes.
So it's the calm before the storm right now. I feel
They're
that.
actually being careful because they know if they piss off Israel, the United States will get involved.
Yes. Um, let's put a card on the meetup between Trump and Netanyahu next week.
Okay. Oh, I see a lot of people protesting.
Mm, yeah.
What do you got?
I haven't pulled anything yet.
Oh. Hmm.
Oh,
What?
well, Six of Pentacles, exchange of money. So I'll give you these, you give me these. It's a deal making.
There you
Exchange.
go. It's all
Yes,
about his coffers.
yes.
Yeah.
The world, I think it's a deal as well. Like I think they're trying to align us. I scratch you back, you scratch my back. Yeah. Seven of Cups, there's lying. Of
Always
course.
there's lying.
Of
When he
course.
breathes, he lies.
So it's a side deal.
Yeah,
It's
they come to some sort of arrangement here. But they're at the crossroads, so they don't trust each other.
no.
They're always looking to the other way. But I see Jared there, so Jared will treat him like he's king.
Oh,
And yeah,
for sure. Nine of Pentacles, lots of money. It's all about money.
yeah.
And Gaza, remember Trump said that he would have Gaza resolved last week? Nothing happened.
No, those poor people.
Nothing happened.
And they're hitting universities if they're pro-Palestine. They're hitting them for having an
On the
opinion.
tower again on Gaza.
So they'll just keep hitting Iran
Hitting
and
on Gaza.
but they won't win. I'm telling you. What is going to happen? You know who else? I see the guy that is owns Fox dying pretty soon. I've been
Oh
seeing him
yeah.
probably this
Murdoch.
year.
Yeah.
When Murdoch goes, it's going to cause a lot of stuff
Hmm.
within the Fox News, which is their baby. And then, Trump would have had Elon buy Fox, but now he won't. Or if he buys it, he changes totally around. And what I see is Trump going. And so, but I saw Netanyahu being kidnapped. I
Oh,
saw a piece of
kidnapped.
cloth over his face. Somebody will take him.
Wow.
And he was all upset because these Iranians, look what they did. My son had to reschedule his
The
wedding three
wedding.
times
Unbelievable. When his own people were hiding and under bunkers
in the
because of
bomb then.
um let's talk a little bit to finish up about Russia, Ukraine. So it was a bit of a news today that Trump canceled some of the munitions for Ukraine, saying
Which
that
they expect, by the way. They know
yeah,
how it
yeah, yeah,
evolves.
yeah. But the reason was like the, the US needed to keep because we might not have enough for ourselves.
Yeah, little piglet, such a piglet. But that's okay. I see there's some is it from France or Italy? There's some military that's going into
From
uh
both, I would say. Yeah, I mean,
I'd say boots on the ground.
n- oh, in
Yeah,
Ukraine?
they were announcing it. I can't remember which country, but they're helping Ukraine. And
So,
Ukraine just had a great munitions place, 800 miles
yes,
into Russia. And and I said, it's just beautiful because if it was Russia, it'd be about children and women dying. But they
yes,
just hit the munition place. They
munitions,
they specifically hit the munitions place.
munitions. They did a great job there. Okay, let's ask how is Ukraine doing?
And also that guy inside Russia, he gives you the inside scoop of what's going on in Russia. They are not good. They have no money. Russia, although Trump just released a whole bunch of money and gave them money, he gave Russia Iran's money.
Yes, yes. It's like one
Well, they're
pocket to the
hanging
other.
in there. They're looking for peace, but they're hanging in there.
And there,
There's no destruction, no tower.
no, I got the Queen of
Very good
Swords. Yes,
militarily.
yeah, Queen of
Yeah.
Swords. They're fighting. Um, the lovers. I feel like they're getting help from
Somebody's
Europe.
giving
Oh,
them
they're
help.
getting help. Yes.
And there's a powerful, this might even be the Mother Mary. It's a very powerful
Mm.
energy, female form that's with them.
Yes, yes. And Ukrainian women are very, very strong, minded and
Very.
and
Oh my
and
God.
courageous,
Very courageous.
very courageous.
They
Um,
want to save their country.
strength. There.
And
Let's
there's a
have.
lot of professional generals that aren't part of the Trump regime that say, if I was to put money in it, I'll say Ukraine's going to win.
I say Ukraine's gonna win. Let's look at Putin.
Okay. I always saw him running like a little biatch.
And I just get this sense like it doesn't have long to go. Like I don't think
You
it's
know, and he's
the
a Libra.
energy feels very weak. That's how I get into his energy. It feels. light and
And
weak,
he
not
goes up
strong.
there and lies like Trump does, tells stories, Here's his card. And he's got bad health too, by the way.
Yes, heart.
Bad health.
Putin.
There's the coffin, maybe even before October. Look at this
Ten of
coming off the
Swords.
battlefield.
Yeah, Ten of Swords.
Yep.
Eight of Swords. Like is
Health.
diminished. The Judgment. There's something happening. News.
Yeah. And also, Ukraine is getting inside information from a very top source, but it's not from the United States. Or when Biden was in office, the United States generals really told him, or behind closed doors that aren't working for Trump anymore, letting him know this is the layout, this is what you should do. Because if you notice, for a guy who had no experience in running a war, he's doing really
Very
good.
well. Interesting for Putin, I got justice,
Ooh.
which could
Yeah,
be not the
well,
court, but the real justice, karma.
yeah, because he can't keep doing this evil and thinking he's okay. That's the same thing for all those people, especially Steve Miller.
Oh,
I threw on
oh.
Steve Miller the other day. I never had such bad cards in my life.
Something shifted, like he's gonna leave or be gone.
I see snakes all around him. We need to take them all to their little setup over there in Florida.
Yeah, with alligators.
What would
Maybe
happen if somebody kidnapped Trump and threw him in the bayou over there? They'd be attracted to the smell of the deities.
we need like a 24-hour TV there, like that watch what's happening if it's
Yeah.
there.
Oh, it'd be terrible. I would just hate to see.
No,
And they were gleeful. They were gleeful. But most of the United States people are good people. People aren't into that.
no,
They're not into seeing people dying. And they're even putting US citizens in there. So,
I
yeah,
know. This is
gleeful. They're absolutely gleeful.
it is terrible, terrible. But he always this is very cruel, made fun of people who are hurting, and it's so
People
disgusting.
been here 50, 60 years and they're dragging them off. And they're lying about things like they attacked the police. No, they didn't. And they got it on film. I don't know. But anyway,
Yes,
well, my
Linda.
friend,
Yes, thank you for being here. Any maybe parting words? My parting words would be that I've like we discussed, we know it's gonna be pretty tough for a couple months, but there's really some
there's
hope
something
after
at
them.
the end of the tunnel. This
Yes.
too shall pass.
Yes,
And
yes.
I was listening, I was up at Mount Shasta. And on the way back, my nephew and I had Eckhart Tolle, The New Earth. I have it on audio. And he was saying that, was it that one or anyway, one of his shows? He was saying that until you totally surrender to the realm, to God, when you surrender, that's when the peace and the love and everything happens. You cannot
Of
be like
course.
we tend to get knee jerk, that SOB, he needs to burn it. We have to allow all of this is for a reason. And down the road, we'll see what. It's like me with cancer. Best
I
thing that ever
agree.
happened to me. But at the time, I was desperate.
I
So
agree. When I have consultations and people really want something, whether it's a relationship or a job, and they really, really, really want it, I always try to explain that the best thing they can do is is actually let go, release, and trust that everything will fall into place, which is very hard to do. But
very hard.
I can
But you
tell you,
can't focus. Yeah.
every time I saw someone doing this, they really got what they wanted.
Also, you can't focus on another human being.
No,
There's no such thing as thinking, I'm going to
no,
get that person.
no,
People get I did it. You get overwhelmed with one person,
no.
thinking your life can't go forward without that person. That's not how it works. You
No,
can pray for the feelings you get from love and affection, but you cannot interfere with anyone's free will.
no, absolutely. Because that's the only aspect where you can't, your own desire has to match someone else's desire to be in a relationship together.
Exactly.
Otherwise, then you're at odds with each other. And so when you meet and you feel this connection, that's really when you see the two free will energies to merge. And then you have your own free will, their own free will, and your relationship destiny along the way, which is beautiful.
Yeah, I love it. Well, thank you, my friend. So
Thank
we'll have
you.
you in
It's a
a few
pleasure.
weeks on my
Yes,
show. Okay.
yes, I'll be very happy to join. And thank you again for coming. Bye,
Thank you,
everyone.
honey. Bye, everyone.